best friends in his corner. Sends Cassidy into the ropes. Cassidy ducks under a second layer. Cassidy comes back, goes up and over the top of Pac. And a drop kick takes the bastard off his face.
All right, that's good. That's Gucci.
Gucci gang.
Oh shit, I ain't heard that in a minute. What type of cookie you eat earlier, Waz? I ain't had a cookie in a minute.
One of my keto cookies. It was a chocolate chip one.
I forgot that you came up on the keto cooks. That's fire. You be buying them
King.
Keto King. You be buying them off of Amazon? Or are they at the store? Okay.
You can buy them single packs at like Kroger and shit, but I mostly buy giant boxes.
Yeah. I like that. And I'm glad you even brought that up because that's something I definitely need some more info on. So before we get into it, that'll be the first thing we go. Let's just fucking start it off with with a good cheers, y'all. Welcome. This is the No Consensus podcast. Yeah, water's around. Except for mine's just the same color as water.
Vodka? Gin?
Yeah, you know it's summertime. I gotta go back to my summer drink, a little gin and time. Yeah,
oh yeah.
Little lime in there. I'm Mike Jack, aka the Jacker, aka Jack the Rapper. I almost said Ripper. You cannot get those confused.
No, you can't.
AKA Microwave Mike, AKA Bars God. To my right is my boy Skinny Jake, AKA Pickle Jake, AKA Grandpa Jake, AKA he been sunning you fools since '93. And then below him is Uncle Waz, AKA Wazinator, AKA the Baconator Wazinator, AKA Keto Waz because he don't eat bacon. So he gotta. Do you eat bacon? You can eat bacon. So you got some bacon in there
every day. I literally have bacon every day.
That's my man. It's the bacon god, bacon bro, bacon bastion of bacon over there. Yeah, I like that. This is the No Consensus motherfucking podcast, dog. What's up, boys? And I'm glad. So I just want to jump into it because all of a sudden, you know how like you kind of look one thing up and then now all of a sudden everything on your internet is that one thing that you just wanted to look up real quick. So I was looking up keto and now all of a sudden I have like 40 Joe Rogan clips about keto and intermittent fasting, and I got keto chips as ads on Facebook and all type of shit.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, chill out. Because me and my personality type, the more you try shoving the thing down my throat, the more turned off I am. I guess unless you're wanting me to buy bread, so therefore you're shoving a bunch of keto at me, knowing that I'm gonna go immediately to the store and buy a loaf.
Bro, imagine Jake and Kroger Meyer just stuffing his basket like 20 loaves of bread just to get back at the keto ads. That's
I'm
fucking
spiteful.
crazy. Yeah, that boy, the spiteful champ, bro. But it is fascinating to me that as long as you've been on keto, we probably only had like one conversation on it, and I still don't 100% know what goes into the keto thing because I know it sounds just basic, no carbs, sugars, right? But like what it's not easy taking that stuff out your diet, bro, because everything just kind of sneaks shit like that in there. So I just kind of wanted you to break down like what was the hardest part about going keto, and then you look a lot better since you started it, so I know that there's real benefits to it. But like so first part, what's the hardest part about it, and then second part, like just break down what keto even is for me and for other people that don't know about it.
So the hardest part I'd have to say would probably be either the cravings you get, and that's usually only when you're transitioning back into keto. Like I used to once a month just eat a pizza and put keto away for the weekend. I'm doing that less now.
Body.
It's actually better. It's something I have to go back into. Okay. You want to keep carb cycling, and there's a different name for it. I can't remember what it is. But the cravings you get when you're getting into keto is kind of annoying because you just want everything bread or everything sweet or everything potato. And then the other thing, if you're not watching your magnesium, salt, and potassium, your electrolytes, basically, you can get dehydrated. And that comes across on people as the keto flu. But
I did
essentially
hear the keto flu somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, essentially that is just your body not getting the nutrients that it should be getting. So I take a little booster of magnesium, sodium, and potassium.
Like a pill?
It's basically a drink I make. It's some BCAAs, which are like proteins and amino acids and stuff. That's just just general stuff. I don't need that, but I just mix some magnesium in that.
Like a smoothie or like a juice?
No, it's like a powder I put into water, and then I put some powdered magnesium in, and then I've been adding inulin, which is a fiber, just because why not? It's good for your gut.
Yeah.
But basically that's all I really do. There's a lot of different levels of keto. I'm lazy keto now.
Is that the technical term?
It is actually.
That's hilarious.
So like full on keto is somebody who tracks every macronutrient they get. So every fat, every carb, and every protein. They make sure they never go over, all that kind of stuff. I've been on it long enough, and I'm in kind of the maintaining phase, so I can do lazy keto. So I know I need around 100-ish grams of protein a day. I want under 20 grams of carbs minus dietary fiber. And those are really the only two things that I really track anymore. But when you're trying to lose weight and when you're trying to get into keto and get your body into keto, you really want to make sure that when you're counting carbs, you are counting correctly and you are subtracting dietary fibers. And you don't want to go over on protein because there's a process called glucogenesis, I believe, in which your body will convert extra protein that it can't digest into sugars, essentially.
Okay.
And it's got some not fun byproducts for your body. So you don't want to there was a girl who died a couple of years ago from protein shakes because she was having too much protein every day. It caused issues with her liver and kidneys, I believe.
Damn. That's like you gotta been drinking them and like felt that pain and just thought like no pain, no gain or something. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just
probably have another.
Yeah, and then exactly. And then by the time she was like, "No, I gotta get this checked out," it was too late, huh? Jesus Christ!
But yeah, I mean, keto is essentially low carb, and high proteins and fats. Your body essentially runs off fats.
Yeah.
Which is a much more nutrient dense thing than sugar. Sugar it burns very quickly, very easily. To have your body burn fat, it actually also has to spend extra energy converting that fat into a usable source, into ketones, which is where the name comes from.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's essentially cut out bread, rice, potato.
Rice.
But
I'm not even a rice eater like that, so I don't even know why I said it like that. But there are countries that like base most of their dishes off of rice, so it's like, damn, y'all could never be keto over there, boy. God damn, y'all all little anyway, so y'all don't even need to do keto.
I mean, most Asian countries are also walking everywhere.
I'm black, so I can say it, but that one came off wild. What'd you say it was?
I forgot where I was. So your body runs off fats, which your body has to convert, and that requires more energy. And I forgot where I was.
No, that's it. But because one of the things that I seen, and it was actually like a recent interview, the dude was kind of talking about what's the word he used? Metabolic flexibility or something like that. Where most people's bodies, like you say, just go for them sugars. Once you take them out, you force your body to get used to having to use other things to pull energy from. And when you do that, that's when your body and you start seeing a real difference in your health and shit. So I was just wondering, because when you grow up, you always see the fucking pyramid, the food pyramid, right? Like you need these things. Now you don't need these things at the top of the pyramid as much as them things at the bottom. Was the pyramid upside down, or I can't remember, but you know what I'm talking about. Certain food groups you're supposed to have a little bit of, the other food groups you're supposed to have a lot of. So I always figured, are you supposed to you just cutting sugar out and carbs out completely? Is it completely is my thing, or is it just really?
Well, on that triangle, like, wasn't bread at the bottom?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
I mean, that triangle is a byproduct of the U.S. having tons of open area and exporting grains and everything else. That entire pyramid is based off of
sham.
our export, so that we can make money.
Fucking government, bro. You can't trust these motherfuckers for nothing.
Yeah, it had a lot less to do with actual health.
But okay, so it is cutting it out completely as far as like.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, I'm. So I have like if I want a dish that is like a rice dish, I'll use like riced cauliflower. So it's cauliflower cut up to look like rice, and it works just as well in 90% of the cases.
Right.
There's alternative breads and bagels, cookies, chips. I brought a little pack, like a year ago?
Yeah, and it was good too.
It's not nearly as big a hurdle as I think people want to think it is, but that I can't have any more bread thing. Once you get used to not having bread, you don't crave it.
Yeah. I guess it's always like, what are you looking at when you pick something up? Is there like a specific like ingredient on the back that you always got to look for when you pick up something to buy?
It's probably mostly carb. Yeah, it's so weird to go like. I mean, I hear that every year. I hear pretty much consistently when people are like, "Oh, you're fasting," like, and they're like, "Oh, it's vegan." I could never give up bacon. Like, I mean, it's just for like a couple of weeks. How can you not give up any individual food or whatever,
any individual thing, bro? Like, give it up, bro.
It's just so weird. Like, you can't go ahead and give up bread for like 2 months. I mean, I get it. I enjoy bread. I use it with everything, but like,
especially if it's gonna help you get to where you want to get to. If I tell you you stop doing this and you'll get to where you keep posting that you want to get to on Facebook every day, and you'll get there, and you still be like, nah.
I mean, for me, it was pretty easy. Bread, diabetes.
Right.
Bread.
But I'm going to tell you,
that's a lot more than just you, WOZZY. That's like saying. A lot of the people
most
around
people
here,
have that same option, bro, and still choose the diabetes. And it's not even like consciously, bro. It's they'll cut out whatever they doing for, like Jake said, a week, 2 weeks, a month. Then your ass slide somewhere around there, and you just get right back into them old habits, bro. And then now your ass in the hospital, bro. Oh, look at this. We're back in foods class. Bring it up, baby.
All right. So I have no idea what this is for. I just did a search for nutritional label. So the main things I look at, I don't really look at fat anymore. The very strict keto will keep fat at a certain
there's 2 different fats on there, too. That's another thing that'd be irritating. Go
ahead. Saturated fat, you want. Trans fat, you don't want. Or it's the other way around. I can't remember which one. Basically, I look at the carbohydrate line and I look at the protein line. Okay. Carbohydrate, you take this number and subtract the dietary fiber number, which is right below it, and that is your net carbs for the item. So whatever this is, I would count as 33.
Yep.
So fiber is a type of carbohydrate?
Fiber is technically a carbohydrate, but we can't break it down.
Okay. So the fiber content is fine. It's just all the other carbs that you're trying to go ahead and I gotcha.
So and I think the US only has to show sugars. So there's also alcohol sugars, which is like erythritol, stevia, things that don't really affect your glycemic index, which is the sugar, like insulin control, those can be cut out at like anywhere from half to a quarter. So if something says, let me see if I can find a label.
And all of this, because another thing that I just learned, which I'm like, why are you so retarded? Never thought about this. But another thing I realized is that keto stood for ketosis. You want to get your body into ketosis. And I was like, damn, that makes sense. I didn't even never put two and two together with your dumb ass. But when you get your body into ketosis and you're doing it as long as you have been doing it, WOZZY, is that a thing that your body just kind of stay in until you eat something that you're not supposed to eat, or how does that work? Okay.
So I have a quick label up here, and it shows the sugar alcohol as a separate line item. Those you can like cut out, kind of, and that's the xylitol down here.
You praising Jamie the Google guy today, boy. You killing it.
What was the question? Oh yeah, so getting into keto and getting out of keto.
Yeah.
Your body it'll go quicker as you get more into keto. Like you'll switch back in. The initial time took about 3 weeks for my body to get into ketosis. But I can tell when I've had too many carbs or I've had some sugars that affect me when they shouldn't, or I've just eaten too much. I'll actually gain 10 pounds in like 2 days.
Damn.
And it's all water weight.
Yeah.
Because keto by its nature is a water, what's the word? When you don't have the water in you anymore.
Diuretic.
Yeah, keto is a natural diuretic because the carbs are what store your water in your cells. So I can definitely tell when I'm no longer in ketosis.
Okay.
Like I look like I've gained 10 pounds of water.
You look real hydrated.
Yeah, I do.
The old girl from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory style. Violet. Go ahead.
Every once in a while we'll go ahead and pick up some of this Borsec here, and it's sparkling mineral water from Romania. And when you were talking about the concerns of being like dehydrated and the magnesium and all that sort of thing, I just happened to take a look at it. Yeah, and it's got everything but the potassium that you mentioned: calcium, magnesium, sodium, and yeah.
No, that's
Potassium
a good water.
most people get from like grains and stuff. So that's why in keto you need more, because you aren't getting the stuff that doesn't have it as much.
No, you messed me up kind of like I never really thought about it too much. But when you convert, when your body has been relying on a certain fuel source, such as sugars, right, or carbohydrates, and you decide that you're going to cut those out and switch over to a different fuel source, I mean, like, that's all exactly like how everything works around here, right? Like, if you have coal-based power system, and therefore it's going ahead and producing all these nasty byproducts, it takes a certain amount of time, and it has other sort of side effects when you start shutting those down and opening up nuke plants or what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's easy to see, like, oh, well, if you have a high carb diet, there's going to be certain sort of side effects. But just to think about, like, at the cellular level, they're like, oh, now we got to start doing this.
The
And,
motherfucker been going to one spot this whole time. Not even over there. There ain't nothing there. You like, oh shit, where we go now, bro? I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your body doesn't have the enzymes to break down to break down fats as well. So because you're using fat as the energy source, your body has to build up the enzymes to break it down, which is also why it takes a little bit longer in the beginning. It's like trying to hire new people for a nuclear plant.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like, dang, I can't even do anything with this. Before I could do anything with this, I got to go ahead and do this thing over here. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and do this. And meanwhile, you're draining energy, right?
Yo,
Mhm.
that's funny.
Fascinating.
We need a Osmosis Jones type movie about ketosis and fasting. That'll be fire.
Ketosis Jones.
Yeah, Ketosis Jones is fire. And I just came up with the name for this episode. So
And
you
WOZZY
also,
better get a voice acting job for it.
that's a fucking fact. You would kill a voice actor job too, Woz. You
What, you're
said
saying
it
that he's
take
got a face for radio?
no, that's not what I'm saying. Because we do video on this podcast, and if I thought that, we just did audio. On this podcast.
It's really awkward that one guy is never on camera.
I watch podcasts like that too, where one dude's just off to the side. Okay, you said it took you about 3 weeks to get back into ketosis. Is that something that you figured out just from how you feel, Wise, or was there something that you was tracking early on to help you realize, okay, I'm in ketosis now, and that took about this many weeks?
Is there like
In the beginning, it was more just by feel, but there are little blood tests you can do. It's like a little USB strip, basically, that you plug into a device, and it'll give you the ketone levels you have. It's similar to like a diabetes blood test monitor. It tracks a different thing slightly.
Okay.
Or there are piss sticks that you can pee on to tell you if you're in ketosis. The issue is that only tracks the ketone extras. So when you've been in it for like 5 years, like I have, my body uses almost all of the ketones. I don't have extras that I flush out. So the blood is the only way I can track mine. The pee strips don't work anymore for me.
Ah, okay. And you said it's a USB thing that you plug into your computer, and then it pricks you?
No, so it's like one of these monitors, and at the very top there's stuff to see, but there's like a little hole that you can put a little thing in there, and then that tests your blood for you.
Okay, that's fire. And along those lines, because Jake, you've been the fasting god for how long? When did you start taking that shit seriously? Probably, I feel like 2-3 years ago, right?
I mean, no, it's been a lot longer than that, honestly. I mean, because I used to, what was it? Years ago, I used to like every month, do like a 2 or 3 day just water fast.
Yep.
And I used to do that every month. But as far as like the Orthodox fasting schedule, I've been doing that, I don't know, the last 3, I think this is my 3rd Lent.
Yeah, I think so too. But you're right. You have been doing something along the lines since we met each other, I think. But it seems like after you left our old job, it was like you took it to another level. And I can't remember if that coincided with when you started going into the Orthodox Church or not. It might have. I can't think about it though.
Yeah, because I mean it's just like a part of like our like historical observation and stuff. So, like when I used to fast like way before, it was just like I see like that there's benefits to fasting, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it in this sort of way. And this is that plus this is what we do. You know,
All right.
it's part of also part of the identity and all that jazz and stuff. Yeah. So after going ahead and becoming a part of the church, that's when it's I'd say it's probably like really stepped up.
So I just always was wondering because they got into it a little bit in one of the clips I watched, but it wasn't like a deep dive into it. And I'm gonna actually go back and watch that shit. Is there a difference between what your body goes through when it's fasting as opposed to what it's going through during ketosis?
I've never gone into ketosis, so I can't really speak on that. But I'd be surprised if it was terribly similar. Because
so let's break down what your fasting schedule even is real quick, Jake. Are you taking, is it like a few days that you're still doing like the water only thing, or how long are you doing intermittent fasting? Every day. Like, what's your fasting schedule?
Yeah, so normally throughout the year, let's see here. Normally throughout the year, I I have the intermittent fasting thing going on anyway, so I usually don't eat till 2 p.m.
Mm,
For lunch. But Wednesday and Fridays are fasting days in the church, so therefore I only eat dinner.
okay.
Um, and then there's the fasting seasons such as Lent. There's 4 fasting seasons. This is one of them that we're in. So when it's a fasting season, it's only dinner that I'm eating. Um, but see, there's also feasting times. So for example, the week, like one of the weeks before Lent, there's no fasting. So Wednesday and Friday, which are normal fasting days, no fasting is prescribed. So on
You
those
better
days,
get it in.
yeah, and that's actually how I treat it. Like, this isn't so much about me. This is about like what we're preparing for and stuff.
Right.
So while I do intermittent fast on any given Monday and stuff, I'm not gonna do it now. I'm actually gonna force myself to eat a little something for breakfast,
Mhm.
even if it's just a piece of bread and some peanut butter,
Yeah.
because
That's the worst. Eat it when you don't want to eat. I hate that shit, boy.
well, I mean, it's not that I don't want to eat. I mean, I always want to eat, but
It's a
but
big boy.
gotta keep this machine
Yeah.
fueled, man. But it's part of that whole, like, yes, there is something that we're like getting ready for, and it's part of that whole transition sort of thing. But then there are specific times, such as the first week of Lent, clean week. Um, Monday and Tuesday, I don't eat any food. Wednesday, I just eat dinner. Thursday, I don't eat anything, and then Friday, it's just dinner.
That is crazy, bro.
Um, and then again with Holy Week, which was coming up in a couple of weeks here. Um, I think it's just Saturday, where you traditionally don't eat. It might be Friday, Saturday, but at the very least, it's just Saturday. Now, I'll go ahead and also say that I don't know a whole lot of people, if anyone, who does all of that. And the vegan
You're
diet.
just a maniac.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, for example, my church bulletins and like my priest, he was going ahead and giving people a heads up before Lent about um, uh, like work on getting the meat out of your house and the eggs and that sort of thing. So the vast
Because you ain't gonna
majority,
be able to use that
yeah,
shit if
yeah.
this month. Yeah.
Well, which that also goes back to the purpose of Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday is
Mm-hmm.
it's our last day. Tuesday is
Mm-hmm.
that's the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, which for the Western
PHAT.
Church, which Ash Wednesday is the start of Lent for the Western Church. So it's like, okay, this is actually the last day that we could use any of this stuff. Let's put it all in a big fat greasy donut.
Yeah, facts.
And that's what Punchki is.
Yeah.
But there he didn't make, so while he did make a note about like the vegan aspects of it, he didn't make any sort of indication about the water fasting aspects. But I'm familiar enough with like the Typica and monastic rules and stuff like that I'm like, well, I know that technically this is what we should be doing as well. And here's the interesting thing too. It might sound goofy, but I actually like am saddened by when Lent is over, in part because like like you trained so hard for something, and then it's like, okay, well, back to the normal grind.
Yeah.
But it was funny because like this year, going up to Lent, I was actually really nervous about it. Like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna do it. Like, It's a struggle. It's a legit struggle. But my priest, he always says like with any fasting season, like start out going hard, and that it'll carry you forward.
I like that.
And it's interesting because like Brandon, for example, he's like, well, I don't know about that. It seems like you'd get burnt out really quick that way. And like I get that concern that if you go too hard at the gym the first day, that now you're hurt.
Your noodles, legs, and your arms don't work. Yeah.
But those, by going ahead and going those first 2 days with no food whatsoever, like it was going so hard that say, oh, okay, now I'm going to a meal in the evening. That's easy. Like that's nothing compared to what that was.
Yeah.
And it's been a rather simple Lent so far, at least in that regard.
How long can we go a week without eating nothing? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think the longest I've gone is 4 days.
Woo!
Maybe.
Woo.
It was either 3 or 4 days.
Do you start hallucinating around there? Like, what happens to you after day 3.5 of not eating no food? What you going through?
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I mean, if your health, I don't even want to say that, but
don't do it. You was about to say if you don't do it if you're not healthy.
Well, I mean,
to the professionals, young boys.
But I mean, I think fasting in general is like a good, healthy thing for more or less all people. But for one, like your health is very important, and I've known people who have I'll just go ahead and say it. So Brandon is a dumb idiot, and you know,
I might have found the actual title of this episode.
Brandon is an idiot.
A dumb idiot is what you said, and I'm putting it in there. That's funny.
But it was frustrating because like I had been advocating the benefits of fasting, especially within the Christian tradition, and I mean, it's hilarious. The Hungarian word for Easter is húsvét, which means meat taking. The name Easter in Hungarian is actually a reference to the fact that they haven't been eating meat, and now they get to have meat for the first time since Lent started. You know, so it's like a major.
They get to take in that meat.
Yep,
all the way, man, for the hilt. But
send me that word, by the way. That's about to be my Twitter name for a little while.
Oh, Mike, you're taking the
pause. Go ahead.
But so I had been advocating fasting to him for a while, and then one year he decided to do it, and he got sick. From I can't remember what it was. He came down
like a cold or like a flu or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he went to the doctor, and like he had to get some medications and stuff, and the medications you're supposed to take with food.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I'm fasting, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. There's no priest in the world who would advise that. They'd be like, no, you're not feeling well.
Yeah,
that sickness, that illness is your fasting now. That's the cross that you're bearing, not this fake cross, which is you choosing not to eat.
I know what year this was, because I that was Brandon I saw on the Channel 2 News running butt naked down Woodward. I remember that year.
Yeah, so you remember.
I remember that year.
Woodward Dream Cruise got really weird.
The best dream cruise I ever been to. I was like, I gotta stop drinking Hennessy.
but with that, I had learned like that, you know, within the Orthodox Church, like there's a strong relationship between an individual and their spiritual father or spiritual mother, and like my priest would go ahead and tell anyone who's sick, like, no, like you don't need to be fasting right now. You know, or you're pregnant or what have you. Like, don't fast. You got other things going
Come
on.
on, baby girl. You
Care
can't
yourself.
fast. You got a baby
You know?
in there. It needs to eat.
Without that
There's
sort
a
of
whole human there.
without that guidance, I think people can
People-
go ahead and
Yeah.
hurt themselves. And so
Facts.
while I do advocate it, and I think it's a good healthy thing, if you don't have some sort of like mentor guides sort of figure,
Yeah.
I don't really advise it. But yeah, things if you're doing just water, things get a little like the first, I'd say within the first 12 to within the first 12 hours, that's like the most difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're used to eating on a regular schedule and you're interrupting that, and your body's like, hey man, this isn't the norm. And that's when the cravings are the worst. After 24 hours, me personally, I've just been Gucci. Like, you
Yeah.
know, there's like, I have to tell myself, all right, now it's time to eat.
I like that. It's the snacking that kill people, right? Like, it ain't really even the meals. It's the let me get up and grab this Snickers or this bag of chips real quick because I'm hungry. That be killing people.
Yeah,
Well,
and you don't even realize how much snacking most people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the number of times like you're in the checkout line and you just grab something real quick. You know, all those things really add up, and that's one of the things that's interesting. So
let me before you go there, I'll even tell you this, Jake. Now that I got a son, we've been doing intermittent fasting. This will happen sometimes too. I'll be making him some breakfast, and then when I'm making him something, I get some sauce on my finger and be like, it'd be like, oh, it'd be like kind of fucked up, bro. Like that's the type of shit that be happening once you got other outside things in the crib too that you just got to be mindful of.
yeah, so there's like a number of things I want to go down. I'm trying to keep it straight. So
Here you go again,
real-
phrasing. You want
Oh,
to go there? The number of things you want to go down. That's crazy. Go ahead.
But yeah, so with just the water, it gets interesting at about the 24-hour mark. I feel super dialed into things.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mental acuity is just right there. Boom. I could focus really well
Like
in all
on
that.
everything in your life?
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. Time slows down a little bit, and like I feel like I could just figure things out a lot better. I think a lot more clearly.
Yeah, Max Payne over here, slowing down
Yeah.
time.
But at the third day, things can get a little goofy. Um, and that's definitely when like I'm running on E, which actually and like I'm just much more lethargic and tired. It's like 8 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, I think it's about bedtime. And that's funny as well with just Lent and having an extended period of time where you're just eating a single meal a day.
Yeah.
When we're fasting, I mean, fasting is only one leg of a three-leg chair. Like, it's fasting, prayer, and almsgiving. So for one, like if you're fasting, you're not eating as much, you're not spending as much money on food. You have extra money, give that to the poor. If you see someone who's in need, give to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also spending less time preparing for food and stuff like that. So you got more time. So pray more.
Yeah.
You know, and like all three of those things are necessary. And but what was it here?
You on the third day, so what's that fourth
Yeah.
day like, bro? After you go to sleep at 8 o'clock on the third day.
And that one you just sort of blank out on. But no, when we fast, the Orthodox position isn't that like. So the Jewish position is that certain foods are clean, certain foods are unclean.
Mm-hmm.
When we fast from meat during Lent, it's not because we think meat is unclean. It's just a voluntary giving up of something, and it helps refocus. Part of it is to like refocus what the purpose of food is. And when for 40 days you have been eating a single meal a day, and then also trying to make it a small meal, and not just like one huge meal, but one small meal. Like by the end of Lent, I'm starting to get really tired around 6 o'clock. I'm like, man, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be in bed. But then
that's
I
your
eat
work day too.
Yeah, exactly. But then I go ahead and I eat dinner, and now I have like this newfound energy. And I mean, obviously, your body doesn't break down food that much, but your body knows that it's running low on energy, so it's starting to shut certain processes down. And then once you reassure it that food's coming, that there's more fuel on the way, then it like powers them back up. And again, it's not because like certain foods are clean or unclean, but it's to remind us that while delicious tasting food is great, that you shouldn't become a slave to that, right? You know, you shouldn't become a glutton. That food has a proper like biological role in our lives, and that is a fuel source. And here's plain evidence of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't run away from
You
it.
can't,
Like,
bro.
I'm getting sleepy because I haven't had a bowl of rice with some raw veggies.
And that sleep is gonna get even longer the longer you don't eat nothing, because that sleep become permanent. 3 more days. You got a long nap you about to take, boy. And the reason why I asked that, Jake and WOZZY, is because you know, that's been like a common conversation in our household these last couple weeks, right? You especially like we going to Jamaica, or we went to Jamaica, we going to Hawaii. You about to be in bathing suits out in the sun. You just want to look good and you want to feel good. So it's like, what's the best ways to make that happen? And when we was growing up, and I don't know about y'all, but when I was growing up, I always thought that working out was the way. Like that's, you know, you just work out, bro. Get out there, burn some motherfucking carbs, you know, and work out. You're gonna be good. Now you're starting to realize, like, oh, your diet is important as hell if you really want to lose weight the right way. So that's why I started looking into keto and shit, because truthfully wise, you might be the first person I know I heard keto from. Not to say that you invented it or nothing, but for me personally, I think you were the first person I know that was like, you know, on the keto wave. And I've seen the motherfucking the progress. And it's so funny because it's like you look at old pictures of us and I'm like, damn, I didn't even look at WOZZY that way, but you see him now and you see him then, it's a big fucking difference. like, and I didn't even notice it until you look back at the shit. So I want to ask you personally, because just from us being friends for how long we've been friends, you don't just jump into something like keto unless you've done your research on the shit. So what made you even say, all right, this is the way I think I want to go, and this is the way that I think it's going to benefit, the way that's going to benefit me, beside from the vegan/vegetarian or the fasting, or, you know, the other waves of shit that people did to try diet slim fast shit. You know what I'm saying? What was the deciding factor for you that made you like, all right, keto is the one for me?
Diabetes, not diabetes. I mean, I joke, but that truly is one of the main reasons that I started keto. I was on a pre-diabetic medicine, and I was actually taken off of it because of keto. I knew keto from because it's essentially Atkins plus. And so and I had followed low carb stuff. So I didn't go straight into keto. I went low carb for probably about a year, just because I was eating. You know, we had B-dubs every week, and that is fries. That is, you know, breaded chicken.
That Thursday,
go home,
boy. Y'all know it. We going to B-dubs. You know we are.
So yeah, it was mainly just. I was at a point in my life where I was so unhealthy that things had to change.
Yeah.
Or they were going to change for me. So,
I guess I just felt like I thought you did. I feel like those other things could have stopped diabetes too. No, fasting and veganism and shit.
I don't think veganism would because you're still eating a lot of fruits. You're still eating honey often. You're still eating a lot of sweet things. And the main thing you're not having is protein in a vegan diet. So, and you have to supplement that with other proteins. And keto for me just made sense. It was very low carb. Those were the things I was craving.
Yeah.
Those were, I'd get home and I'd have like a pantry full of those like Easy Macs and just throw one in and make it. Keto made me actually start preparing my own food, getting chicken and, putting it on a grill or baking it. It was kind of one of those things where it made sense to me. Like for me to really get into something, it has to make sense to me.
I'm wrong.
And
that's why I was like, I know that, and that's why I'm like, I know WOZZY did this because it made sense, bro. And that's why that's what I want. So keep going.
Yeah. I was on metformin with the pre-diabetic stuff, and just low carb. I dropped like 40 pounds in a couple months.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even trying. That was just eating less or not eating. Like, if I was going to get chicken, maybe get it not breaded. I can still have fries. I can still have, just slowly cutting it down. And then once I got taken off the metformin, I'm like, all right, this is working for me, so I'm going to keep going. And then I went harder into it. And one thing you had said about, you had always thought working out was the key thing. Out of your entire daily calorie expenditure, at least 2,300 to 2,400 calories is just existing.
Yeah.
So if you put that into a workout, that's what, like a 4 or 5 hour run that you'd have to do just to equal how much it costs to live calorie wise. So that was the other thing about keto for me is it wasn't a workout regimen. It was counting calories, knowing how much you're intaking, and letting your body tell you when it needed things.
Yeah, though, if you to get that resting, like for lack of a better word, but like the existing calorie,
the resting metabolic rate.
Oh yeah, metabolic rate.
Yeah, or whatever, like the 2,000 or whatever that you had said for just existing. Like, I mean, obviously it depends on how, like, what your muscle mass and all that sort of thing is. So if you have higher muscle mass from working out, then that's also how you can go ahead and increase that baseline. Yeah, so I mean, like, I think it really depends on a lot of different things, but a little bit of both. It's probably.
I'm not saying working out needs to be cut out, but
no, I know.
Don't run for 4 hours a day just to try to lose weight. Eat less.
Eat less bullshit.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah. This was just a super fascinating topic for me, and I didn't expect this to go on like this, but I kind of did because y'all so knowledgeable about this shit. So to wrap this up and move on to the next thing, because I'm also asking for friends that I have. I got friends who are close to that same stage as you is at, WOZZY. Like, if I don't make a change now, I'm going to have diabetes, and friends who have been diagnosed with it now because of their bad habits. So were there any, like, I don't know, is there any sites or videos or something that you can use as resources to help you start on the path of keto and fasting that you two guys would recommend?
I mean,
that we can put in like the description of the video too.
When I started, I used there was a keto subreddit, but that was before it became a fad and before it became a target for anybody hating it. I don't know what a good resource right now would be.
Okay. Well, you think we could look it up though?
I'll see if there's anything, but I don't know. There's probably a couple good. I'll see if I can find. I'll make a note of it.
We'll help you. We got you people. We gonna find something good and put it in the description. What about you, Jay? Because I know a lot of your stuff is. Well, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But what was it I was gonna say here? Like, I think really, like, regardless of what you do, more or less, like, the major benefit is the heightened consciousness that's demanded from it. For example, Mike, you with the intermittent fasting, you're going ahead and preparing food for your son, and then you lick a little sauce off your finger. You didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That was just a habit, and then you're like, dang it, and that forces you to realize just how unconscious and out of control some of these things are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing keto, you might go ahead and instinctively go ahead and grab a fry off of like your date's plate or something like that, and then think, dang it, that's but like you weren't even thinking about it, and it just shows you how unconscious a lot of these things are. So I think, for one, regardless of what you do, I mean, talk to your doctor and find out something that works for you, because like
That's a
WOZZY
fact.
said, it was the sugars that were such a high concern for him. Well, then keto makes perfect sense in that regard.
Yeah.
But if you have like I don't know,
A protein allergy or something.
yeah, then it wouldn't. So talk to your doctor. Don't be afraid to go ahead and ask stupid
Get a
questions.
doctor, by the way. Like, as men, we don't never go to the fucking doctor. Who's your doctor? What hospital do you go to if something is wrong? Who do you call if you don't feel right? A lot of guys out here don't got that. So I'm glad you brought that up, Jake. First off, get a fucking doctor.
Mhm.
Yes,
so-
we probably, if you 18, and I think you even up to 20 something, you can still talk to your pediatrician. Ask your mom who your pediatrician is. Go talk to them. And then if you got a job, you got insurance with most of your jobs, go on the network and just find a doctor and go in and get a regular checkup, and then ask them any questions that you got, and you start from there, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and just paying more attention to those little things. Anything that helps you do that, I think, is a good thing, because it's
Women
also
too, my
training
bad.
your mind. Yeah.
I just know
But it's
men is hard headed as fuck. Women care about shit. Men just
Yeah.
want to die and get a Viking fucking funeral at the end and shit at 24.
Yeah, so anything that just gets you thinking about things a little bit more, and consciously choosing what you're eating, and not just accepting whatever you're being fed, is a good start. But yeah, I don't know of any resources for the intermittent fasting, like off the top at all. Just I mean, find something that's comfortable to start with. Just like anything, like just like you're going to the gym, like, what can I do? Let me establish a baseline. Okay, I'm going to start with a 16-hour window.
Yep.
16 hours, start to finish, I'm allowed to eat. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that for, like, let's say a month. And now we're going to drop it down to 15 and that sort of thing, and work your way up, and just be intentional about it.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Just the basis of both of these things. Keto, cut the fucking carbs and sugar out your diet. And for intermittent fasting, choose a window that you're allowed to eat. 8 to 8, like that's 12 hours. That should be good enough for your ass.
Oh yeah.
Or
You ain't eating at 8 a.m. Come on now.
Exactly. Like, and then after 8 p.m., you don't eat nothing else, bro, until you wake up the next day. Like, cut the shit out. And then, like Jake say, lower that window. You get to a point where you are getting your body in that fasting mode. So for intermittent fasting, there's just a window that you can eat in and can't eat out of. And for keto, there's just shit that you can't eat, period, point blank. So do some Googles.
But you can eat more bacon.
Yeah, exactly. and we'll put some Googles in here for y'all too to look up. But y'all can do y'all Googles if y'all really want to change y'all life.
Jake, really quickly, I want to see if you can confirm this, but when I started like intermittent fasting and keto both, I learned to read my body more. Like, your body tells you tons of information about what you need and what you don't need, and most people just flat out ignore it and don't do that.
Yeah. People think a lot of times that when they're hungry, when in reality, you're probably just thirsty. You don't realize that dehydration make you feel hungry, dog. Drink more water, bro.
We're on a trip.
Yeah, we're going on a trip. Look at where you taking us, Jake. Where are we going, Jake? Oh my god!
Well, it was, you guys were starting to break up a little bit there, so I'm standing above the
router
downstairs now. So instead of laying in bed, I will stand up for you.
Well, studies show that standing up while you're working.
Yeah, and I'd say so yeah, some of that stuff was cutting out, but see here if I remember the general gist. Yeah, your body does tell you a lot of stuff. Pay attention. And like I don't know, it's a really interesting thing, you know. And I'd say also, um, like be forgiving to yourself. Like it is work. Like this is something new that you're trying to do, and it's going to be difficult. So you got to be forgiving when you do make a mistake, but don't enable yourself to continue making mistakes.
Yep.
Keep striving forward, and it's really like wild because one of the things is that you're developing discipline. That like okay, sure you might lose weight or what have you. That's cool, but like the even better thing is that you're developing a discipline that can translate to your work, can translate to your relationships and stuff like that, you know. So
yeah, it's not about a lot of people like to do. I want to get down to this many pounds. You can't. It can't be that. This ain't I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get down to 120, and then because once you get there, what you gonna do? Go back to the same shit you was already doing and end up back in the same position you was just in. This ain't this ain't a 2 month. Let me just get down to this pound and I'm gonna look good in Miami and then be a piece of shit for the rest of your life. This is a lifestyle. You got to change this shit because it ends to longevity in your life, healthiness, and you just gonna feel better. People be wondering why I'm so tired at work and want to get 5-hour energies. This is why you fucking tired all the time, bro. You're not sleeping enough. You're not eating right. Period. Point blank. You're not exercising. Exercise don't make you tired, bro. When you would get up and wake up in the morning, you be energized, dog. It'll make you tired a little later if you went too crazy, but after a good workout, bro, my day is set, dog. I'm ready to kill the world, bro. So you got to remember these things. And like Jake said, it's hard. You're going to make mistakes, but don't give up after a mistake. You got to keep going.
Yeah, that's weak.
That is weak.
Don't beat yourself up.
Thing.
You said what, WOZZY?
Don't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah.
You always have another day to continue.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, that's the easy thing to do. The easy thing is to go ahead and beat yourself up and give up.
Yes.
You know what the difficult thing is? To go ahead and accept, oh, wow, I made a mistake. I'm going to try again.
Big fucking hard. Facts, dog. That's good shit. Ketosis Jones. Another thing, there's a couple things I wanted to ask y'all about, but it's been a couple weeks, so I already led the question in a lot, so I'm gonna just let y'all got anything that y'all got on y'all tablet that you want to bring up for the people. For the 500 downloads a month that we get.
So is DMX dead or not?
That's not photos, chill. Not fucking funny. DMX is not dead yet. The dog is still alive. But this is another thing. Remember when Kobe died and how bad the reporting was on that incident? This is another thing like that, bro. People just want to have the first thing out and the information ain't right. So no, he not dead. But then 2 days ago, I saw they took him off the breathing thing and he's getting better and he's feeling good. And then yesterday, I see they took him off the breathing thing, but it's still in critical condition and he's dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have no clue what's about to happen with our dog X. But the reporting on it is terrible. Just like it is for just about everything in this world.
Right, because it's all about the clicks and getting there first, because then you got more clicks. And
that's crazy. But yeah, X is still with us. I don't know what his condition is though, but the dog is still here. Yeah, that was crazy to see though. The OD and shit and the drugs, man. It's like,
yeah.
I guess I don't never really understand what overdosing is. I understand that it is like you took too much drugs, right? But sometimes these guys' tolerance is so crazy. I feel like sometimes I've heard that they didn't like necessarily overdose, but maybe it was a bad batch or it's the same. It was the same batch and the same dose they usually take, but their body just couldn't take it that one time. Like, I don't know. Drug shit is different, bro.
Yeah, so that's a big thing when it comes to heroin. Bradley from Sublime, that's how he OD'd, because he was doing really well. He had gotten clean. But he had been doing heroin for so long,
Mhm.
and he had built up a tolerance. So as like he was going through that phase of his life, he was doing more and more and more and more heroin. And then he got clean, and he was clean for a while, and things were going well. So your tolerance lowers. But the thing is that typically, like one of the things about when someone who's a heroin addict relapses is that they go back to, well, this is the dose I was taking last.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, because you're not thinking all that clearly.
Right.
So you're not thinking that your tolerance has gone down. So then you take that massive dose that you used to be able to handle,
Yeah.
but you ain't got the tolerance, and then you're,
That sounds kind of, because I feel like X was getting a little better, dog, and like, because he just did the verses with Snoop, and he was looking skinnier, or not skinnier, he was looking bigger, like fatter, which was good for him because he had looked so fucking skinny at one point. It was like, oh, you actually eating and getting some weight back. Like this how the drunk uncle's supposed to look, like the belly and everything. Like you up there, you having a good time.
Yeah, because that crack uncle,
yeah, the crack uncle look different than the drunk uncle, bro, and that's a fact. And so it was like, yeah, we I feel like what you said probably is the what happened. Mm-hmm. Same with Mac Miller, bro. Same with a lot of these guys, dog. It's just crazy how it's just that easy. The same way I hit that motherfucking barbecue sauce, you fuck around and hit that crack. Get a little crack on your fingertips, dog, and you back in there, man. I don't know. Did y'all know anybody ever that overdose?
Yeah, my cousin.
Yeah. What about you, Woz?
Not directly, but by association.
Yeah, and we all know JJ, and it's always just terrible to hear about shit like that. So it's like it's worse because you be like, you was trying to do good and then you just slipped, and then that one slip was the one that made you fall off the cliff. So prayers up for our dog DMX and anybody else that's out there battling that shit, bro, because it's you never recovered, you're always recovering. And it's a day-to-day battle until the day you die. And the boys at the No Consensus Podcast got y'all back. If y'all need something else, this that crack right here, just turn on this podcast. You don't need no crack. What you need crack for? It's right here. We right here. Snort this shit, baby.
I mean, and if you are struggling, man, like there's no shame in asking for help. Like none of us came into this world alone. My
mama was right there, boy.
So like there's really no shame in it. It's a goofy sort of thing. I understand it, but
you ain't even gotta ask for help neither. If you just want to talk, shoot the message, man. We here. Our Twitters, the IG, the Facebooks. We'll put you in a group. We might have to make the Discord soon too. But yeah, that's funny. What about you, Woz? What you been on these last couple of weeks?
Played some Outriders, got into that, went through
bro, I can't wait till we can play together. These motherfuckers fucked up the X-Play.
Started watching
crossplay don't work. Jake, you got a game that's coming out and the whole thing is like it's super crossplay. Everybody can play with everybody. And then the first week the crossplay don't work, bro. So I can't even oh my god.
Ew.
I can't even play with my dog WOZZY on this shit, bro, and it irritates my soul. They probably have it fixed this week, hopefully. You think, Woz? You seen anything about it?
They have too many other problems they have to fix.
I don't think so. I think this is the main problem that they have.
I mean, like stability. Like there was another issue today where multiplayer randomly went down.
Yeah. Well, if you can't get regular multiplayer now, yeah. What else, bro?
I started watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that was pretty good.
I'm still on episode 1, but I'm gonna knock out the next 2.
Finished up a couple animes too, so waiting on stuff to start back up.
A couple. When WOZZY say he finished up a couple anime, Jake, that means he finished 20 anime probably this last 2 weeks. And
300 episodes episodes each.
Because let me tell
I'd
you
say
this:
4.
this year, bro, 2021. This been one of the best starts of a year for anime that I've had in a long time. It's been all fire, damn near.
Yep.
Damn near been all fire, bro. So I'm super excited to see how the rest of this year play out. Because they did 2020 dirty. Video games and anime did 2020 dirty. Like, we in the house, bro. Why y'all can't? We was bored as hell last year. Now the world's starting to get a little bit back to whatever we want it to be. And now y'all want to be fire again. Trash. What I was going... Oh, you know what else I wanted to ask y'all? So, we... the last time we had talked about briefs versus boxers, and then like 2 weeks ago I was eating something, right? I forgot what I was eating.
Where's this going?
This is where is
We were
this?
talking about briefs.
Yeah.
I was
Then I'm
eating a
eating-
sausage and I was
and
thinking about boxers and briefs.
that pierogi.
Pierogi,
y'all
he's
fucked me
different when
up.
you're wearing briefs, bro.
What was I eating, bro? I don't remember what I was eating, y'all, but it was something with a variety of different things in it. And,
Was it that cinnamon toast
No.
shrimp tails?
Oh no, I thought you was gonna say cinnamon toast dick or something like that. No, it wasn't none of that. I don't remember what I was eating, but then I thought to myself, I always am the guy that likes to save the best for last. And I was like, are you guys the same way? Do y'all eat your favorite part of like a variety meal first? Or are you a save the best for last type of guys?
It's funny you bring that up because that was actually on my mind last week. I don't remember what I was watching something where they said, "Are you the kind of person who saves the best for last?" And I was thinking, and I'm like, I never consciously thought about it, but from now on, I'm gonna eat the best part first because that is the best time when it's done perfectly. Like if you save the best for last, you're not having the best at its best. So have the best at its best and have the lower quality shit at a lower quality.
So now WOZZY eats ice cream before his dinner.
Yeah.
And you know what I was eating? I was just eating a regular dinner now that I think about it. It was like steak.
Okay,
It was
sure.
like steak, macaroni, like some greens or something, potatoes. And I just noticed myself saving the steak for like last, like eating all the sides first and then eating, sprinkling the steak in there, but leaving the steak as like the last thing I was eating.
Like an
And I'm like-
exclamation
And
point on that.
I always eat like that, bro, because it's like everything else is all right, but I like to finish off tasting the best thing for last. But WOZZY, you make a very compelling point. I'm not gonna be mad at that. It's not gonna change how I eat, though. I don't think. But I'm gonna look at my plate differently from now on. What about you, Jake?
Mike's nutting first now.
I said I saved the best for last, not first. God damn.
But no, I know I guess I don't really pay too much attention to it now, but I used to for sure save the best for last. And I was always divide and conquer. So like I'm eating the mashed potatoes, and then once I'm done with those, then I'm going ahead and moving on to something else. And then I'm moving.
So it was one by one. Okay.
Yeah. But now I do a little bit more of like a little bit of this and then a little bit of that. And I move, I got that bob and weave going on when I'm on that plate now. But I think I think I've been sprinkling more of like my favorite in earlier. And actually I definitely go ahead and will take a bite of my favorite thing first. Get that, and then I'll go. But I save the majority of it for last.
Yeah.
Still,
I think that's how I do it too. But I would still consider that saving the best for last, though.
yeah.
What do you think
overall-
about WOZZY's breakdown, though?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But in regards to steak, if you're going ahead and letting your steak set after you cook it, what you can do is have it out there, just sitting while you're eating the sides and all that sort of thing. So now it's actually at the appropriate time where it is ready, and you've saved it for life.
I like that.
I like
if
that
you
too.
If you have a meal where the resting can happen while you're eating,
That's
that
what I'm
is the
saying. But
optimal.
most of the time, I've been cooking a lot this last year, y'all, and I still can't get the timing right on my cooking. That's like the next step that I'm trying to take it to being a good chef. Like that timing, because you got to realize certain shit just cook faster than other shit, bro. I stay fucking it up, bro.
So the biggest thing about cooking is the mise en place, having everything in place.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you can like
say that
mise en place, it's French.
What you just did was fucking fire, Jake. What the hell was that? Dude disappeared and jumped up and was like,
well, the timing just happened to be perfect. Like my knees were like, "You need to pop me, bro." So I went down to pop, and then
drop it. Pop, block, and drop it.
French on us, so
that's funny as hell. Mise en place, bro. You know that
so,
French.
Yeah, just cut up anything early you can, and it makes timing stuff out a lot easier.
You said cut up?
Yeah, so like if I'm making a chicken dish and I know I want strips that marinated, I'll cut those up. I'll put a bunch of foods in different like Tupperwares.
Mm-hmm.
And then I save the actual cutting portion. Right, I can do the cutting portion not during the prepping stuff or cooking time.
Yep. And it's little things that I notice now that I'm cooking too. Like my next house, I'm gonna have a bigger stove, right? Like I feel like I can't get as much shit on that bitch as I want to be cooking at the same time. I'm gonna have more counter space, so I can have more shit on the counter getting prepared as I want. It's just little shit like that you don't even notice as a fucking unless you cooking unless you be in the kitchen, bro.
Right, yeah, because if you weren't thinking about anything, it's like, oh yeah, there's your guys' kitchen's just fine, but it's kind of like a hallway.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff. So like,
it's exactly
depending on what you're trying to prepare, like it's like, all right, well, this just ain't working out for me.
And it's just me and Show now too. But when Jack get to be about 10, 8, and then when we have another kid, he like 7.
Hey, speaking of Jack, who taught this boy how to speak?
Bro, what's
he doing actually making comprehensive sounds?
It's Pop over here, bro. Mom and Pop, bro. And I can't hate, dog. If you give them the right cartoons for the right amount of time, they learn shit from it. They minds is fucking sponges, bro. So I only let them watch stuff that's actually trying to teach them shit during the day. And then like Coco Melon got all the songs, and that just seemed to help you learn shit a little better when it's in song format. So yeah, you let them watch shit like that, for an hour or so out the day. You sit down with them and just talk to them regularly. I don't do no Google Gaga shit with my son, bro. I say, Mike, come here. Jack, sit down. Jack, can I have that? Please, thank you. You talk to them like regular people, right? And then they'll catch on.
That was one thing I had heard is just talking to kids like they're people. Mm-hmm. It's not demoralizing, and B, they get the idea of how speaking works. So
it's not, bro. And because the simple fact is he understood us. He's understood what we were saying to him since he was like probably 14 months, maybe even a year. I could tell him to do something and he'll run and go do it. He understood it. But now it's actually like matriculating into him being able to respond back to things that I'm saying. And I credit all that to just talking to him, like talking to him and then letting him watch stuff that talks to him as well, dog. So, and at the end of the day, your kid gonna learn how to talk eventually. It's just whether or not he gonna learn at 2 or 10.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because I think it's a part of like that sort of helicopter parent mentality that like, oh, I got like my kid can't do anything.
Yeah,
gotta protect them from everything, and it's like.
Nope.
There's so much smarter and so much more capable of
and so much durable.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you could throw them around.
Yeah, you just toss their asses around, bro. But no, seriously, they are way smarter than you think that they are. I tell my son, you got to do it in steps. Like first it was always like, I don't even want to say commands because it sounds like a dog, but that's kind of how it is. Like, hey, Mike,
Instructions.
yeah, instruction. One step instruction, like pick that up. And then it turned into, hey, pick that up and throw it away. That's 2 steps right there. And he knows exactly how to do that. Hey, grab that wipe and wipe that up because he like to fucking spill the milk on the floor. Grab a paper towel, wipe it up. He'll grab it. He run over there and wipe it up. He think it's a game right now. So I'll be like, all right, cool. You ain't gonna think this a game after a while though. But it's like you said, it's just simple stuff like that they gonna catch on, bro. They smart as hell. They smarter than you sometimes, goddamn. Because my son will look at me like, and as soon as I turn my back, something getting fucked up.
I've been reading a little bit about like that whole child development thing and sort of like ways to like activities for kids at certain ages and all that jazz. And it's wild, man. Don't underestimate them.
Because that's all I wake up reading, Jake. I look that shit up every day. Like, what should I be doing with Mike at his age, at his month age? You know how we used to make fun of people like, stop telling us that he's this many months. But I see why they do it now. Now, after 2 years, stop telling me he's 26 years old. That's no, he's 2. But from 0 until 2, I understand why you do months, because every month between 0 and 2 is a huge milestone. So my son being 18 months is not the same as my son being 20 months. It's just not, dog. It's a different milestone. They learning different shit. They moving different shit. So I understand now as a dad, I understand why people will be like, oh, he's 21 months, he's 18 months, 17 months. But after 2, that motherfucker 2, so stop it. He's 2, 3, 4, 5. It's done after 24 months. Don't tell me he 27 months. You sound like you're talking about a bid in prison. Like, that's not what he is. But what you gonna learn too as a dad is that your kid, everybody's different. Kids is not no exception, bro. So you see a lot of people say, do flashcards, do this and that. Mike, don't give a fuck about no flashcards. He might stick with me for like 10, 30 seconds, bro. And then he grabbed the flashcard, he look at it, and then he crumpled that bitch up and throw it. And I'm like, damn, that's a good throw. You want to go play some baseball? Like, but it's consistency. So he getting a little longer every day with sticking with me with it, but he's still not interested in that stuff. So you got to try to incorporate what your kids is interested in. You got to incorporate learning into what they're interested in doing. And you know, it's common sense sometimes, but you just be so worried about, is he behind? Is he forward? Is my son a genius? Is he just a regular motherfucker? That you forget that it's just a person. Just do it, cater to him, dog.
Well, it's kind of like the dieting and fasting and all that jazz. Like, your body's talking to you. Listen to it.
Exactly.
You know, it's not speaking to you the way that you might be hearing it, but if you listen long enough, like, you'll start to understand it. And your kid might not be able to verbalize yet, but like, they're still talking to you. So go ahead and learn their language, and then use that as a means to go ahead and teach them that stuff, right?
I'm rolling. Where you at on the dog decision, WOZZY? We gonna get a little puppy over there, bro? Or a 6-month dog that's already potty trained? What you want to do?
I don't know. I want to, but at the same time, I'd also want a bigger dog. And
would it be? Would you want to get him at a puppy though, or would you want him, you know, like I said, like 6 months potty trained and everything, or you want to get him, you know, 7, 8 weeks?
No, I think I'd want to train early. It's always what we did growing up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Except for my parents' current dog, we always had puppies, and I always enjoyed training them. So
yeah, that is a good part. So you just on the fence about it still? Maybe if like the right one came around or something.
Yeah, I don't really have a reason not to get one. It's just
child could use more friends. And T'Challa is a great dog for other dogs to be around, to learn how to be around other dogs. Because he don't beat up other dogs, he just be cool. And at his age, younger dogs just feed off of his vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because once he's only 2, but he's big as hell. and so like they, other dogs just respect that. And since he's so chill, they learn how to chill and relax. But he's also energetic enough to play with little dogs. Like we just had my boy Hop Dog over here for a weekend, and I got Veda now. That's my boy Uzoma's dog. And they just chill, bro. They don't do nothing. They be in the backyard. They relax. Veda's his age. Hop's dog is only like 4 months, so that's a baby. So he need, he could always use other friends, I guess is what I'm saying. Even you, Jake, go ahead and get you a little puppy. We can
Go ahead
have
and be his
doggy
friend,
days.
Jake.
Yeah.
Hey, TC.
Jake pull up to the crib and just all fours walk to my backyard, huffing and barking.
That's
Jake, no pissing on my fire pit.
Jake, if you go in my backyard, lift your leg up and piss, bro, I don't know what we gonna have to do.
That's not acceptable.
That's unacceptable. That's
Only if he
unacceptable.
catches you, though.
Okay. Oh yeah, if you just come straight to the back, Julia's in the house like
running
break
interference.
yeah.
Hey, babe, I need you to go ahead and distract them. I gotta take a leak real quick. Just use the bathroom. I got my own bathroom.
I would
already.
love to just see how TC will react to you. Oh, all fours just walking around and pissing with your leg up. I don't know how he would react. But yeah, I'm for you getting a doggy. You said a big dog though. What you talking about? German, golden, Rottweiler. What you thinking about? Mastiff.
Not too big, but
Because the mastiffs is like fucking bears.
Wow.
I don't know. I kind of like huskies, but they're howlers, and
Husky.
a lot of it is the dogs I want. I don't want to put the extra effort in that those kind of dogs need. Like a husky, you have to walk every day.
Yeah.
And you have to like strap weights to them so they don't have boundless energy and stuff.
I'm rolling.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't pull your car.
Have her pull the car.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell. Yeah, I feel you. German. You look like a German Shepherd guy, bro. I can see you walking around with a German. They got energy, but they real easy. Not. What's the word I want to say? They're not easy to train, but they are trainable. Like real good with training.
Yeah.
So they real obedient, real smart. Like I can see you having a real cute and dope golden German Shepherd though.
Golden Shepherd.
A lot of shepherds tend to have bad hips.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So what you got to massage them?
A lot of German shepherds tend to have bad hips late in life. That way it can't get taken out of context.
Them Germans.
Those Germans are hips. They just ain't.
Oh, that fucking that clog dancing. Is that Germans that be dancing with the clogs? If I just tripping.
Well, that's more of the Dutch, but
Dutch.
Germanic peoples. But yeah,
Okay,
I think the Germans do that too.
Okay. All right, I'm not way off.
WOZZY, what are you used to training?
What did you have growing up?
So growing up, our first dog was a giant Cocker Spaniel we got. I named him
Cocker
Tramp.
Spaniel. What did that look?
So it was a Cocker Spaniel, but he was like the Barkley of Cocker Spaniels. He was like 40 pounds and just like not even fat, just like huge. And I named him Tramp because he looked like Lady from Lady and the Tramp, because that makes sense.
You named him Tramp because he looked like Lady. That's so fucking hilarious.
I was like 7 years old.
Inspired,
it made sense.
Okay, Cocker Spaniels. Okay, I be knowing all these dogs. I just never know their names.
After that, we had a giant Schnauzer, which are like they used to be beer house guard dogs.
These dogs got that like the
Chinese
man beard. Yeah, those dogs is cool.
Trained her. We had a Rhodesian Ridgeback after that. That dog was smart.
Rhodesian Ridge.
It was actually it was a Rhodesian boxer mix.
Say it again, bro.
Rhodesian Ridgeback. It was a mix of that and a boxer, and it was smart. She was the smartest dog I've ever seen, and agile.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, that's I know she was smart as hell.
So those are the kind of dogs that I grew up with.
Yeah, I would go ahead and get one of these again. This is a beautiful dog here. This Rhodesian Ridgeback. Pull her up real
They like
quick.
jumping. So my
Oh.
fence, I'd have to like extend.
Well,
She could jump high.
I
She
know.
could easily jump over my fence now if she was here.
Yeah, bro. Neutering helps that type of shit because most of the times they jump in and like go fuck. So I would say just neuter them, and it help with longevity of life. But you never know.
Well, his was neutered. Imagine how high it could jump if it was not neutered.
Was a beast.
Just jump into the moon.
That's a beautiful dog right there, though, Waz. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, they look cool.
It
Their
reminds me
hackles
of
get up when they start growling, so it looks really cool.
Yeah, I be peeping that on TC. I be like, put your hairs down, boy. What you mad at? Shut up. But that is one thing that dog owners got to learn. You better learn your dogs. You better learn
Warning
the warning signs, bro. Yeah, my dog don't bite. Yeah, okay. You get pissed off or agitated. Yeah, they change, bro.
Oh yeah, the right situation. We all bite.
If you poke him in the right place, he will bite you.
That's a fact. That's funny as hell. 125. I did want to ask y'all real quick about this can't even be real quick, dog. There's two more things I wanted to talk to y'all about. So I might leave one for next time and then just ask y'all about this. Did y'all see about the Georgia voting laws?
No.
Nope.
So this one might be quick then. So
Teach us, Michael.
basically, Georgia just passed a law. And I'm gonna go back real quick to see like the main things. Bill 531, and essentially it makes it harder to vote in Georgia. And let me tell you this. So the first three main points: limits early voting on weekends, adds ID requirements for absentee ballot applications, and then sets a brand new shorter deadline to request an absentee ballot. Right?
Time to get an
That's
absentee
three.
ballot.
And then the next
The state
three.
Senate is also considering ending no excuse absentee voting.
Come on, bitch. I don't need to hear you talk.
Has been sharply polarized.
And then it ends no excuse absentee voting. And then it ends automatic voter registration at the DMV.
House bill.
Or actually those last two, they're trying to get passed for this next bill that they putting out. So just to recap, what is on the bill right now is that you don't get, it limits the early voting on weekends, ID requirements for absentee ballot applications, and then there's a smaller deadline to get an absentee ballot. So my question is always like, okay, ID requirements for absentee ballot applications. All right. I mean, I don't off the top, I don't see what's wrong with that. Probably should need an ID to get an absentee ballot, right? So I don't really know what that issue is. But when you start limiting voting times on weekends, and then you start setting smaller deadlines for absentee ballots, why are you doing that? Why are you making it harder for people to get ballots and vote, as opposed to, you know, making voting more accessible to people around the world? And I know y'all don't, there's more to this shit, a lot more. This is just like the three main ballot points that I've seen in this this video. So there's more, and I want y'all to like kind of do some research on it. But yeah, just what do y'all think about that? Why would you make time shorter and make it, you know, deadline shorter to make it harder to vote when most people already have issues voting?
To be honest, I kind of came in this with a bias, like what you said, making it more difficult to vote for in Georgia. I assumed that it was going to be about voter ID regulations, like requirements and that sort of thing.
There's more stuff like that in there.
Like so. So this isn't even on it, but like I get confused a little bit about the hang up about needing an ID to vote.
Like I already gotta
Because
show my ID.
right, well, like it's been hilarious because people like I think Steven Crowder, but like conservative types have gone around college campuses asking white people like what they think, like young white liberal people, what they think about it, and they're like, yeah, it's just unfair that black people, they just don't have licenses, they don't have IDs, and it's unfair and racist to go ahead and make it where they need that to go ahead and vote when they just don't have it. And then it cuts to like walking around like and asking some black person like, do you have an ID? And they're like, yeah, why the hell wouldn't I? So I don't really see the issue with like just like on the surface requiring an ID. And if that is so much of a problem and people aren't being represented, then I think we need to look at how those IDs get out and streamline that process and make it easier to get an ID, right? So that people then can vote. But yeah, but then I'm actually listening to you and not having that bias and those assumptions. I'm actually listening to the stuff that you're saying. Like all that stuff sounds goofy. Like,
yeah.
well, what we're limiting, like part of the thing that makes these elections so difficult is that we have limited volunteers and a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go ahead and make this all like just try and cram it all the more. Like we're going to come up with actually more issues, which are going to like go ahead and then like validate your suspicions that there's corruption or whatever.
Yeah.
And when it's like, well, no, actually, this is the byproduct of what you did, numbnuts.
I almost wonder if the shorter voting times are it's their weird roundabout way to like level the playing field, of people saying, oh, I can't go in during the week, I have to work. It's not like I can just go and do something for an hour. And I don't know, that could be their way around that, which I hope not, because that's a terrible idea. But
right, because that would affect more people who like may work part-time jobs, right? They might work 3 part-time jobs, so it's more difficult for them to request time off. Whereas if you got a white-collar job, you could be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the morning off to go vote or what have you.
Yeah.
It isolates your population. Honestly, we should be having like when it comes to voting, we should be having days off.
A whole fucking day off to hit the polls, bro. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, and that works at the federal level, but it does get a little messy, like when we talk about like the lower levels, because like Milan has a vote coming up in like a couple of weeks or whatever. So like, what is the whole country gonna have that day off? Is all of Michigan gonna have that day off?
No, you're right.
Does my boss in Ann Arbor have to respect? Like, do I get the day off because of my voting here, but my coworkers have to go to work?
I mean,
but
it wouldn't have to be one day though. Like that's what and what you're saying is what a lot of goofy people say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know you're not goofy. You just bringing up the point. But it don't have to be one day, just like a week. And then your business decides which day out of that week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, a time period between this time and this time where we're closed today for voting purposes. We'll be back open at 8:00 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Go
ahead, Wise.
I almost feel like it should roll into the whole jury duty systems we have in place.
Yeah.
Like
you make a motherfucker miss work and possibly months of work, depending on if they get on the OJ case.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. So I was gonna go ahead and be like, all right. So, I mean, when it comes to federal elections, yeah, no, everyone in the country, like this is our day off. It's like another national holiday. And guess what? If some people don't go to vote and they just go ahead and barbecue that day, I don't care.
Yeah,
that's fine, because that was a choice that they made. We all had the opportunity to. But yeah, now that'd be interesting if like the company has like, you get X amount of like if you essentially bring in your like I voted stupid little sticker or what have you, then like just like with your jury duty thing, or maybe we could have like actual like voting card proving that you were there and that jazz, that you then go ahead and like they have to respect that for, I don't know, maybe even just like 2 hours or like, for being off that day or what have you.
And Jake,
yeah, we can easily make it flexible.
I just had a little Dookie moment. Brain, you just did it. Like on Pillow Talk. Listen, the thing that you just made me think of is that you said it would be sloppy, right? But it isn't like we don't already have days out the year where nothing is fucking open, bro. You go and when I say nothing, there are certain things that are still open, but it's very few. On Christmas Day, you know that not to leave the house because guess what? Basically, nobody's gonna be open on fucking Christmas Day. No, nothing's gonna be open on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. You know what I'm saying? There are days out the year where we already know that don't go nowhere because ain't shit open. You better get everything you need Friday because when on Saturday, Christmas morning, you can't get shit. So, and it might be a transition period the first day, but you can still do something like this is voting day. And you know what else is the voting day is going to do for you? It's going to get more people out to vote because now I don't got to go to work. Nothing's fucking open. The only thing I got to do on this day is go vote. So a lot of people are going to be like, fuck it. Since I have nothing else to do, I might as well get out here and go to the fucking poll near my house and go vote, bro. It's going to raise your numbers for people voting on shit that they going to do. And once people start voting and start doing shit, they're going to start paying attention to it more because I'm putting my name down on here and it might, like I said, it's not going to be the first year, maybe not even the second year, but over time, because guess what? We're going to be around for a long time. After a while, it's going to be the norm. People are going to be in here. People are going to be used to not having Tuesday, you know, whatever the voting day is, November, whatever, December, whatever, off. We're going to be voting, and I want to do all my research the day before, or the week before, or the day before, if you like me, and I'm gonna know who I want to vote for, bro. And that's only going to help you get better over time. And I don't know if it's going to be better, but at least the numbers will be higher. At least people will understand that you got to go fucking vote, and then it'll change the system somehow.
Yeah, and like,
Brian, you just did it.
that's the way I look at it is that you're kind of allocating more processing power at these sort of things. You have more people, more eyes, more nodes looking at it. So I might not know anything about this, but you might. And previously, because of your work situation, you weren't able to go ahead and take a look at this, but now you are, and now you actually have some valid feedback to go ahead and suggest new ideas and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, so I think that the only reason why you don't want this to happen is because you're satisfied with the way things are, you're doing some shady stuff, and you're able to get away with it, and you know that someone's going to see something once there's more eyes on it.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine like having a voting day, like there's voting day, we're all off work, and like you go, you vote, and then like we're having like voting day cookouts. You know, like that sounds like an actual Independence Day.
Fire. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm eating motherfucking red, white, and blue steaks. Damn, I didn't even speak right. Red, white, and blue steaks.
Don't come to my barbecue unless you got the I voted sticker.
Yeah, you can't come. Don't you come to my crib without the I voted sticker. Yeah, or that's how clubs gonna be that night too. The clubs will open up about 9 o'clock. If you got an I voted sticker, you only gotta pay $5 to get in. What you was about to say, was?
I mean, like we have Memorial Day where people do that anyways. How much actual memorializing does the average person do?
I don't know. Yeah, Memorial Day is definitely. I don't think most people even know what they're supposed to do on Memorial Day though. Wise, like voting day, you know you're supposed to go vote, but a lot of people got military in their family, but I don't think that they even realize like. How should I put this, bro? A lot of people don't respect the military that like they should. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't even. Yeah. So what if he went over there for a few years? He's back here now. He just drinking at the barbecues every day. Like he ain't really do nothing. Not really knowing like that motherfucker went through some shit, bro. Like before he got over there in basic training and advanced training, while he was over there, all the countries he saw. And maybe he didn't have to actually go to a war zone, but you still got to go through some shit, dog. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I think that the issue of Memorial Day is that people don't even know what it's for and what they're supposed to be doing on it.
Well, it's funny because I mean, it's just another example of how divided the country is. And the like there's really two different worlds. I know people who know exactly the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Don't confuse the two; it'll piss them off, and that sort of thing. And they take it very seriously because that is their world, you know. Then I know other people who don't know anything about anything in regards to it, you know. But and like I don't like. I'm not trying to make fun of them or anything, but it's just not their world, you know.
Yep.
And like there's just like this big rift between the two of them, and they don't really talk to one another.
Yep.
And that's the problem.
Yeah. And I think that's a problem in a lot of facets in the shit that we do, y'all. And that's why I like this podcast. We all generally think in the same direction, but we all definitely like kind of zone off to different sides, or at least think of shit in different ways. So we can always give an opinion like, yeah, but what about this? You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of people don't hang in circles like this. It's like, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, fuck Biden, fuck Biden, fuck Biden. Like, y'all all just on the same course, bro. And then and y'all don't give a fuck about nothing else. And it's like, I can't even answer questions no more, bro, without taking a deep breath and then thinking for like 30 seconds and then being like, all right, here's what I think. Because I'm a gray area guy, bro. I don't think just about anything is black and white, dog. Like, yeah, but I say yeah, but in so many sentences. It's crazy. I know I'm an ass man, bro, but damn.
I can't give a yes or no question 95% of the time, and it just pisses people off. Like, you didn't ask me a yes or no question. You think you did, but it wasn't a yes or no question.
Exactly, like that wasn't yes or no, bro. There's other things in it.
Mike, I gotta say this. You mentioned Trump, and I was driving through Trump country the other day, and for one, it's hilarious that those dum-dums still have
Hope, Michigan.
I don't know where that is, but I know I wasn't.
I think that was rated like the most racist city in Michigan for a long time.
Oh,
or no, Howell.
No, you're
Howell,
thinking
Michigan.
Howell,
I'm thinking Howell. Holt is where Mario lives. Sorry, Mario. I mean, if you up there and it is the most racist, you're the strongest man I know, dog. You black and Puerto Rican. They double hate your ass.
But for one, I think it's hilarious the amount of signs I still see up in people's yards and their flags.
Yes.
It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially like the Trump 2020 ones. Like, well, it's 2021, so. But no, while I was going through here, I saw a couple of houses, and they had a flagpole, and they had an American flag upside down, which is a sign of distress. And they also had Trump stuff in their yard. And it's so wild to me because, like, I've been told by a number of like military veterans, like, do not play around with that. Like, that's a serious thing. Like, this means a specific thing. That means that we're in distress. That means that, we're under siege, sort of deal. And it's nothing to take lightly, but you got these Trump supporters who are like, Biden stole the election. I'm going to put my flag upside down.
And also, that shit disrespectful as fuck.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, my goodness. That's crazy.
The left is dead. They did a couple of interviews with this guy named Martin, who's a big
142. That's how long it took for you to bring up The Left is Dead. I know that's your new favorite podcast, and I was sitting here waiting, like, he gonna bring it up. He gonna bring it up.
Well, they do a really good job of interviewing people that they really disagree with, but being respectful, but also not giving an inch, you know? And they have a couple.
I'm not making fun of you neither. I'm sure it's a great podcast, and I'm being sincere right now. Jake wouldn't listen to no bullshit. It's just as soon as I brought up any of this shit.
Have you seen Bullshit and Snake Oil? I mean, I don't put up with much BS, but I make it.
Just like a man. Toxic masculinity.
They interviewed like this hardcore Q conspiracist a couple of times named Martin Fox, I want to say, and it's just interesting because they've interviewed him before the election and then after I think before the election, after the election, and then after the inauguration of Biden, and just to see how he's trying to go ahead and be, oh no, actually things are still going according to plan. Trust the plan. It's impressive how insane some people can be and just deluded.
Cognitive biases can be extremely profound.
Mm-hmm.
That's fire. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Oh, do y'all got anything else? Because I do got something else, but I'm gonna save it for next week. So
I can save it for next week. We'll talk about lawn care.
We do, bro. I low key need that shit this week. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I'm about to hit Home Depot sometime probably this weekend.
I sent you a bunch of links, numbnuts.
Did you?
Yeah, bro. I blew you up. I felt bad.
I gotta no, don't feel bad.
Well,
I didn't
you
even
probably
see them
should have,
bitches.
because we didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't even see them bitches, bro. So don't even feel bad.
So not only did you feel bad, he didn't care at all. It was a one-sided emotional trade
that's
there.
funny as fuck. Bro, you sent these links and then I hit you with our boy DMX in the hospital, bro. I didn't even respond.
You sure did.
I didn't see these bitches, Jake. My Facebooks was tripping. All right, we'll save the lawn shit and this other shit I want to talk about for next week. I'm gonna put it down here so I remember it. But I am starting my lawn care this weekend / next week, so we'll get into it. Cause I said, oh, that's a good motherfucking eyebrow raise, Jack. That's fire. So let's get into my boy WOZZY shit. You got to take a pee-pee?
I would prefer a pee-pee.
Okay, go ahead. We'll take a pee-pee.
Right, I'm gonna grab my water.
All right.
Oh, strut. I thought you said a stretch. Like that's exhausting to sit down.
You can lead the way. Dora. Hold on. Before we get into Dookie, we gotta start doing some segments on like fire, like kid cartoon songs, bro. Cause some of these guys are fucking musical geniuses, and they got caught in like the kid music scene because it was paying them lots of money to make these theme songs. But those catchy ass theme songs ain't easy to come by, y'all. And ringtones, remember when ringtones was a thing? You know how many people made millions of dollars off of ringtones?
Someone recently started making kids songs. I think it was the rapper dude from Bare Naked Ladies. Started writing kids songs.
Ooh, that's a bag, bro. And you know what? I think the ringtone business is still going crazy because even nowadays, when you get a new phone, I still open up that bitch and see you still get, default ringtones in that motherfucker. Somebody made them. And for how much would you say? Let me explain it like this. Maybe if you're a new guy, you will undersell yourself. But if you've been in the ringtone game for 20 years plus, and you're like, nah, you're about to sell these. You're about to put out an iPhone 12, right? This iPhone 12 is going to drop 10 million different phones or however many they build. How much money you asking for? Because my ringtone, my 1 or 2 ringtones is about to be on every fucking phone that you sell. It's got to be a lot of money, right?
Yeah, but as soon as you do that, somebody will make a similar ringtone for a quarter of the price.
Well, that's when contracts and shit come into play, dog. They probably it's probably not a one-time thing. It's probably like, you probably got like a yearly contract.
Give me a pack of 10 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Now I feel like making some like ringtone music,
bro.
like
Jake,
like
you
like
would
you know, like
kill
taking
the ringtone game, bro.
Like-
I
like
heard
taking-
your work, bro.
So
Like,
do you give the people you don't want to talk to the good ringtone? And you're like, nah, I just wanted to listen to it more.
no. See, I always, my phone's always on vibrate. I turn that sound off
Bro,
all the time.
That's like
Well, it's
such
also
a
in your
bad
back
thing
pocket.
for me, bro. They be like, bro, I hit you. I'm like, dog, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, that's why I need a new smartwatch so that I could at least like get the little buzz.
There you go, Jake. I got the Samsung watch. That bitch go crazy. I don't even need my phone no more. The issue is I don't need to charge it so much that when I finally do need to charge it, it just stay dead for like 2-3 days because I be forgetting, like, go charge that bitch, bro. And that's, I don't know if that sounds backwards, but yeah, I just don't charge it as much as I'm supposed to because I don't ever have to charge it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those things are wild. Their battery life, man.
Yeah.
It's actually better to charge it less often.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted. That's another thing I wanted us to get into too.
Is
Battery life, batteries. Scoot over to your left some more, Jake. Yeah, so there you go, baby.
There is some new battery tech coming out that I haven't looked into yet.
This is what I wanted to talk about, Wise. I swear to, okay, I'm gonna write it down. We're gonna get into battery tech next week.
I gotta grab my charger. Speaking of batteries.
I did because remember, I don't remember, you probably do remember. But last like 2-3 years ago, like nobody could come into Livonia and get like book a room because BatteryCon was there that weekend and all the rooms was fucking booked up. At all the hotels in like Livonia, Novi, like nobody could get nothing because of fucking BatteryCon, bro.
Really?
Yeah, dog.
All right, we Gucci.
I don't know if you remember that, Jake. I don't even want to repeat.
I don't remember it.
Do you remember when BatteryCon came into town, Jake?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, that was just like everybody was like trying to come into town and fly in and get a room, but all the rooms is booked up because of BatteryCon. And that's just the wildest shit I ever heard. The battery convention, bro. Motherfuckers is in there trying to see what the new energy was like, bro. Like, what's the vibes in here?
Man.
I told you guys the story about the Taco Bell up by where work is, right?
Mm-mm.
When I walk in and I went to go get Taco Bell and a group of furries walked in because there was a furry con across the street.
Nah, okay, so now I gotta put BatteryCon, I gotta put FurryCon.
Well, Justin and I, we're trying to get RatCon started.
No, we're not. Yeah, you can get it started.
You're not interested?
No, not even remotely close to it. I don't care if it's Rat Tail. I don't care if it's Rat New York Rats. I don't care if it's rat snitching. I'm not gonna be there. None of them rats interest me.
That's why I thought him and I could go out and do it in conjunction with our GangCon.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'll come
like
to GangCon.
Yeah, but I mean, like we could like do a joint.
No. You can't have RatCon at GangCon. You want somebody to die. That's crazy. What type of con are you trying to have? They'll never let us back at Kobo Hall again.
Whatever happens,
they'll never let us back at Kobo, bro.
Whatever happens off premises.
Bro, do you think that motherfuckers is gonna say meet me outside when the gangs get together? They squash this shit. Speaking of that, Bad Baby just made $2 million off of OnlyFans. Anyways, pull up that Dookie album right now, WOZZY, because I want to get into this bit right here. A Greenday. This is such a fucking fire album cover, by the way.
Stupid.
You know that they just had one of their boys draw this shit. It was like, that shit's dope. I need it. I'm gonna put it full screen.
Let's hear it, WOZZY.
Huh?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, break it down. What you chose this album for, and what was so specific about it that you just love this motherfucker? So
the reason I chose the album's actually not really about the album at all. I mean, outside of the fact that I do love the album, I remember hearing I think Longview, She, and Basket Case were my favorite songs growing up, listening to them. The reason this album is like in my memory forever is because it was the very first thing I bought with my own money that I didn't have to share with my brother because it was a rated T or over 13 or whatever it was, because Longview has the word fuck and talks about masturbation or something.
Wow.
So this was the first album. Well, it was the first thing I bought for me that I didn't have to share with my little brother.
That's fire.
That is the only reason. I mean, I love the album. It's a great album. But that is the reason that this album has that place in my mind.
Well, get into what you love about the album, too.
So this was like just when I was getting into punk rock. Kind of side story to Greenday is probably 2 albums from now, me going up the rock path. But the energy behind punk rock, and especially this pop punk rock, it would be called now, for a 13-year-old, is just pure energy. And then there, other songs like She, and like I have never done a full lyric playthrough of this, so that this week was actually the first time that I went through and did that. Well, not this week; it was a little while ago. But
Yeah, I feel you.
the songs are much different. They're about much different things than I remember. Like when you get deep into some of them, but like listening to it still, She, Basket Case, and Longview are my top picks, and the drum it's very simple sounds, but it's done very well, and it's done. They sound like they're having fun when they're making it. Like you can tell albums where it sounds like they're just trying to get a good rock song out, but these guys sounded like they were just dicking around in the recording studio and put some stuff together. I mean, most songs are under 3 minutes. One's as short as 1:35. So I mean, I don't know. That's the kind of ADHD I also have, where I want something different every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes,
I feel that.
especially at that age. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it was the first album that was mine, and didn't have to let my brother play around with my toy.
That is such a fire explanation, bro, because I never even thought about like that separation from big brother to little brother that happens in your life that all of us have had because we're all the big brother. Like there's I don't know. So to explain it to people, if you're not the like, especially the oldest, but even if you're just the big brother, there's a time in your life where early on you think of your little brother as an annoying piece of shit, right? And then at some point you have to realize, no, that's my family, that's my little brother. I have to protect him, and I have to basically be his daddy. That's not his daddy. And then there becomes a time after that where you're like, all right, I'm tired of this motherfucker. I want to be my own person. And it's albums like this that start that separation. And the separation usually comes sooner than the little brother wants it to come. If that makes sense, right? They still want to be up on you, they still look up to you, but you're getting to this point where you're like, nah, bro, I'm trying to be my own man. And you just cramping my motherfucking style, dog. And this is, I say brother because we all boys here, but this is for sisters too. Every woman I know had to go through this with their little sister as well. So that's just a funny ass that's just a funny ass breakdown, WOZZY, because I do remember the times and the things that I had to start doing without my little brother that started separating us as well. I kind of want to step on this first before you go on it, Jake. Just because it's all in the front of my mind right now. Dookie, bro, when I turn this on, first I just got like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 2 vibes, bro. Like I'm like, bro, this just remind me of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, bro. Like this shit feels so good listening to this album, dog, because that's the like vibe that they had, like that skater punk mentality. Like fuck what the world think about anybody else. We our own people. We doing our own thing, and it's not necessarily the lyrics, because I didn't do a lyric breakdown on this one, WOZZY. I just listened to the songs and listened to the beats and the vibes, and from that, the vibes brought me back to the game. And the game brought me back to that mentality that I knew all the skaters had at that time. They felt like rebels. They felt like outcasts. They felt like they didn't belong. And whether they knew it or not, a lot of minorities felt that way too, bro. Like I feel when you don't feel like you don't belong, it don't matter why you don't belong. It don't matter if you don't belong because you black. It don't matter if you don't belong because you are antisocial, because you skateboard, because you are a nerd. All these people come together because period, we don't belong. It don't matter why you don't belong, you just don't. And now we all together here as this group of fucking outcasts. So that brought me back to that day where I was like, oh, this shit go crazy, bro. And then after listening to the album, or not even after listening to it, while I was listening to it, I always get reminded how I didn't even get on Greenday until like 2004, 2005. They had came back out again with
American Idiot.
Yes, American Idiot, bro. And I thought this was a new band. And when I found out that these motherfuckers came out in 87, I didn't find that shit out until like I didn't find that shit out, y'all, till I was in like college. I was like, I was talking to somebody. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Greenday came out with American Idiot in 2004. It was like, bro, they came out with Dookie. Like, I'm like, I forgot about Dookie. Wait, when did Dookie come out? Dookie came out like 2001, right? No.
Nope.
I'm like, oh my god, and that fucked me up because the sound that they had on that and American Idiot, they still just sounded young. They sounded like they was from my era, bro. But you know, in '94, I was 4 years old. I ain't had no era yet, motherfucker. I was shitting myself and peeing in the bed still, like. Like, and so I just always laugh at the fact that I thought that Green Day came out in like 2004, when in reality they came out like 2 decades before that. That shit is just so fucking hilarious to me, dog. And even another reason why I thought that, because in their video they all looked young. I thought they was 20 in their fucking video, bro. Psych. Like, that shit crazy. Y'all motherfuckers came out as a band in 87. I wasn't even born in 87, so for you to create a band in 87 is crazy. That means y'all was at least, you know, in y'all teens. I didn't see the exact date, but I just love the feel for Dookie. Bring back old memories. She is always a banger, like you said. And the only reason I knew Dookie, this is why my timeline's so fucked up. Football, and we'll get into this one day, but football is like the ultimate team sport, bro, in my opinion. And one of the reasons why I say that is because it made me hang out with kids that I would never have hung out with on any other circumstance, right? So I had a friend, Zach, who was he was actually just the offensive lineman. He would drive me home after practice every now and again, because I just didn't have a ride back to the crib. Both my parents was working and shit. And his rule was, you ride with me, you listen to what we listening to. I'm like, shit, I ain't mad at that, motherfucker. Let's go. So these are the type of shits that he would put me on. Rage, you know, Green Day. It's all over the place. He listened to all type of shit. So for some reason, since I was in high school at that time, I just kind of assumed that this album and American Idiot and all these things was all put together, and I never just did the research. So when I finally found out that this was super old, I was like, I can't believe it, because I thought it was right around the time that I was listening to this shit. And so what that tells me is that these dudes was ahead of their times in a lot of shit, and the music still holds up longer than, you know, most people's music hold up, bro. Period, point blank. For me to hear some shit that came out in 94 and 2001 and still think, or 2004, 10 years later, and still think, and actually it was like 2006 probably, still think, yeah, this a banger. That's just a good job, bro. You know. And like you said, it just sounded like they was having fun, right? Like, when I listen to this, I'm not saying, oh, this motherfucker is technical and this shit is great, but it also brings up that question. Like, we always talk about older rock artists as legends, right? These guys that are sorry, you know, you just think of whatever guitarist, whatever drummer, whatever lead singer that came out in the 80s and the 70s, you kind of talk about them as legends. When do you start bringing up Trey Cool as a legend? You know what I'm saying? When do you start saying that, nah, bro? Why do I forget my man? Who's the lead singer of
Billy Joe?
Yeah. When do you say that Billy Joe is a fucking legend in the rock game? What year is that? Because I low key kind of think that 2021 should be the year you start bringing that shit up, dog. You know, there's a lot of people that came out in the early 2000s that, I guess, you know, time just goes by so fast that you don't even realize that was 20 years ago. But when do you start giving those guys they props the way you give the dudes, you know, in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s they props as being legends in the game? I don't know. What's y'all thoughts on that shit? And then Jake, you can kind of comment.
Yeah, I was thinking about that while you were saying it. I'm trying to think of legends, and the last couple I can think of are like Billy Joel Michael Jackson, like who would be in the music community after 80 to be considered a legend now? Like, I don't have an answer. I'm agreeing with you. Like, when does that happen? Like, do they?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know, because you're right.
would
Is it more
Chester
so
be a
band
legend?
thing? Because I feel like you know, you hear Ozzy Osbourne, you hear damn, I'm tripping, bro. This fucking gin and tonic, but you know, I'll name the bands and you name the lead singer. What's the fucking lead singer of Kiss?
Gene,
Gene, yeah,
Simmons.
yep. What's the lead singer of Metallica?
that's Hetfield.
Hetfield. And even they're like drummers and guitarists. I feel like those guys kind of go down as legends and shit.
Oh, you Pink Floyd, which is 100%
Floyd.
guitar based.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when you were first asking the question, Metallica, like you know, about legends and stuff, Metallica came to my head, but I'm like, are they though?
That's
So like someone like Jimi Hendrix is different.
Jimi Hendrix. Yeah.
He died at his peak, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So he didn't get the chance to produce any garbage.
Bob Marley. Yeah. Exactly.
Whereas Metallica has gone ahead and like arguably produced so many duds now, where you're like, oh, I don't know, like you were a legend, but are you? Like, you kind of jump the shark and you start to reevaluate things, and then with them just being so out there, you have Lars and Napster and that sort of thing, which starts to sully these matters.
You got a
And,
little echo going, Jake.
oh, I do. Oh, that's weird.
I don't hear anything.
It's coming in on my end.
Oh well, can you still hear it?
A little bit.
WOZZY, can you at all?
Nope, it's gone now. Go ahead.
But yeah, so I think it's an interesting. I mean, I don't know. It makes me think of like religion a little bit, and how like I mean, it's by God's will that anything ever happens. Like you could try as much as you want to go ahead and become a legend, but that doesn't mean anything because you could fall from grace as well. You might have the genetics to be an all-star, but you lack something else. And it's this miraculous sort of like synergy that sort of happens that allows for it. So it's a really trippy thing. But to sort of move into my comments a little bit, this album is so stupid. I was irritated listening to it. I immediately, I put it on, and I'm like, yep, I remember this song. And then the next song, yep, remember this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I feel like the entire album has all been featured on some movie soundtrack. Every damn song has been a single. Because I'm like, I remember all of these. These are all from the same album. These are all from one album, and I've never listened to the full album before. It's incredibly impressive to have that many classic hits on a single album. It's stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was really blown away. And like it's just dense with hit after hit after hit. And it's kind of got a weird sort of staying power. So I mean, especially when I was younger, I definitely was not much of a fan at all. Just because I feel like there's a certain lack of a technicality that I was hyper focused on. I was much more into like the harder rock, heavy metal stuff with like very technical drum fills and double bass work and very technical guitar solos that were like, I don't know how you hit that many notes that quickly. And this lacks a certain sort of that. I mean, for example, like a lot of the guitar work, like there's a couple of songs where I'm like, well, this actually sounds like that other song there, just like recomposed, and it's like all the same chords, just recomposed a little bit differently. And I struggle having a certain sort of respect for that. But here's the thing, though, like I was losing myself in every one of the songs.
Yeah.
And really enjoying the energy and all that jazz. And some people go ahead and, myself included, will go ahead and have a similar sort of criticism of Nirvana.
Yeah.
But here's like from like a minimalist perspective, if you look at like Jack White and the White Stripes and stuff, like there's an intention to go ahead and be minimalistic. Like it's not just because I only know these 3 chords, but it's because like I don't want to say that it's Billy Joe's intention to go ahead and see how many songs he could go ahead, like unique songs he could make with only 3 chords.
To be fair, I could see him trying to do that just to like fuck with people.
Right. Well, for one, like the whole like punk ethos is a little like very rooted in like sort of like democratization and all that jazz, right? Sort of bringing it down to the common people, much more so. And this communicates with people on a very raw level. It's not like some math rock where you're sitting around like, wait a second, is that like a 7/3 beat that I'm listening to? Or, oh, I see how it's a lot less intellectual and much more emotive. And to go ahead and be able to play simplistic songs very well, and for people to remember you for them, and not someone else, and to have that sort of staying power, that's like actually like a really impressive thing. Like that's one of the things I think that this re-listen really opened me up to, is that like you don't have to have the most technical nerdy guitar solo. You can communicate your prowess in a lot of different ways, and not to mention the bass and the drumming was just insane. Like that's what really, I think Billy Joe gets. I don't know. I guess Trey Cool and Mike, they also get attention, but I feel like Billy Joe gets the most. When honestly, his voice does drive a lot of the songs, but it's that bass. At least for me, it's the bass and the drums that's just wild. And those drum fills that Trey pulls out they're just a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, all of my notes pretty much were just like, all right, that's a classic. Yep, that's classic. And stuff. Just what was it? 14. That is here. FOD. Like that just sounded like they were just they were just hanging out jamming, and like somebody just happened to be recording, and the entire album really has a whole lot of that vibe. And they have a great stage presence. I didn't watch any of it, but I remember their stage presence, especially Trey Cool. him all the drums, like he used to like go crazy. Yeah, I really enjoyed the listen. And then not to mention I was like digging into the album art a little bit, and it's for one, it's hilarious that like they're dropping bombs, and that those bombs are their album Dookie.
Exactly. And what I didn't do is actually like zoom in on this album art.
I did.
Because there's like some shit in here, bro. Monkeys and caveman. What else is going on in here, bro?
Yeah, so for one, it's funny because like pretty much it's all people on the main lower level, and they're like all fighting with one another. And then you have animals, namely dogs, who got like rocket launchers. A couple of them are having sex. A lot of them are throwing at the people, and it's just like really goofy and hilarious. But what was it here? One of the on one of the buildings that says "Free Huey," so shout out to Huey P. Newton.
All right.
But yeah, like it's just hilarious. There's this lady who's got a coffee and a dog threw feces at it, and it's oh my latte, and then down below says now it's a mocha.
That's fucking, and these dudes is doing this based off of kids, I don't know if you used to know this, but back in the day, we used to get newspapers on our doorsteps, and in those newspapers, there were cartoon strips, and this is exactly in that same vein as an old school cartoon strip, dog. It's a mocha now. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah. There's a fly like tapping a dog on the back on his shoulder, and the dog has like some crap in his hand, and the fly is like, "Excuse me, are you gonna let that go to waste?" So yeah, I was really enjoying it. And it was funny because it kept wanting to, like, the autoplay kept wanting to bounce me on over to American Idiot, and I was having so much fun enjoying this. I can't tell you how many times I listened to it. I made everyone re-listen to it with me, but I was like, Justin, stop what you're doing, listen to this again. But I had to like stop everything from like allowing myself to go ahead and listen to something other than Dookie, like American Idiot. But it was just a blast. Like, it's got a lot of really good energy.
I want to read y'all an excerpt real quick from the Wikipedia, and I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't there at the time. So maybe y'all can give me some insight. Maybe y'all wasn't aware of this, but this is just a quick excerpt. It says, eventually the band left their independent record label Lookout Records on friendly terms and signed to Reprise, which is Reprise Records is what Dookie just came out on, right, in 94. Signing to a major label caused many of the band's original fans from the independent music group 924 Gilman Street to regard Greenday as sellouts. The club has banned Greenday from entering since the major label signing. So it's funny that this is still even an issue today, and it was one back then, and it will always be one. You go from an independent label, which is, let me tell you, let me say it again, independent label, which is still a fucking label, guys, to a major label, and then your fans call you a sellout just because you signed from this label to another label. And it said they left the first label on friendly terms. So I don't know if y'all, do either y'all even remember any of this happening, or what it was like when they left their label and signed the major label?
No,
I'm sure I heard of it at the time, but not. I was 11, so
that's like a weird possession sort of thing. It's like, you're my band.
Yeah.
I want you to do what I want you to do.
Yep.
I don't want, it's like, I don't want you cheating on me with like a larger fan base. It's got to be this group, and I'm only allowing this group because I can't actually change that. But now that you're going somewhere else, like, it's weird.
It's the exact same people who are like, "Oh, I knew that band before some radio hit came out." You're not better because of that. Good, but like.
But they are better, Jay WOZZY. They knew them before you. They're better.
Like tons of bands I know of. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just being sarcastic. I hate that mentality. I hate the fact that nowadays young artists. Let me switch my mind. Young artists really believe that if you're independent, you're real, and if you're signed to a major label, you're fake. Let me tell y'all. Let me just break it down for y'all real quick. Independent. First of all, 95% of the people who you think are independent are not independent. 99%. I'm going to even take it to 99%. They're signed to an independent label. That's not the same thing as being independent. Independent, you know what independent means, guys? That means Mike Jack does all the work. That means I'm making the music. That means I'm going to fucking Walmart and all the stores that you need to put your CD in. That means I'm handling my DistroKid or my CD Baby and my TuneCore to make sure that when I put music out, it goes to my Spotify. It means that I'm handling my ASCAP so that I'm licensing all my music correctly. It means that Mike Jack myself and sending my music out to the Library of Congress so that it's properly copyrighted. And if it's not me, it's like 2 or 3 other people that I pay to make sure that this is happening. I got a manager, I got a lawyer, Everything that I make, it comes to me, and then I have to send it out to them, and I have to handle all my relationships. I have to handle all my distribution. I have to handle all my licensing all by myself.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It's easy when you have nobody else to pay. It's easy when it's just me, y'all. And I can just make a song. I can put it on DistroKid. It goes out, and I put it on my ASCAP, and it's good. It's not easy, guys, when you have to when you have to do advertising, because this is the literal wall right here, right? I've just made a video, guys. And I want the video to be on MTV next week. Who do you call? Literally the name the person. What's their name and who do you call? You don't know that.
Michael Lawrence, right?
Yeah. You said Martin Lawrence.
No, I said Michael Lauren, but Martin was a funny one.
Like, who do you call for that? When you want your shit to be on the front of Spotify, soon as it drops, who do you call? What's the name of the person that you call? Huh? Do you know? Who do you call when you want your shit to be on the front of YouTube soon as it drops? How do you get your shit? What you don't understand is that Walmart, Target, FYE, they literally, you have to pay, or you have to know somebody to get your shit in a certain spot in that fucking store when people walk in. These CDs aren't just randomly placed, guys. I don't know if y'all just thought that shit in y'all head, like, oh, they just saw the CD and they put it in alphabetical order. No.
Obviously, they've never worked there and had to fill out a planogram.
Exactly, bro. When you walk in, these things are strategically placed based on the who the artist is, who called you and told you to put it there, and how much money they paid for it. This is why you sign to a major label. You sign to a major label because you don't have to, all you have to think about is making the music, bro. And then they handle how do you set up the interviews? How do you set up the press run? You have to do all that shit yourself if you independent. This is why you sign to major labels. The issue with major labels is what they're going to tell you is we're going to do all this extra work, but since we're doing all this extra work, we want more money off your album than you probably want us to have, but we're taking a lot of the motherfucking effort off of your back. So you either choose to be with us or you don't be with us. And the difference between an independent label and a major label is that you're working with less people on a lower scale. Maybe I'm not going to Walmart. I'm just going to local, CD shops around the area that they're going to put my shit in. I'm not going to be on ESPN, but I'm going to be on the local radio station talking to somebody. It's just at a smaller scale. But when you're a band like Greenday and you're trying to win a fucking Grammy, you can't do that if you're still on this little ass, you know what I'm saying, in this little bowl. You have to jump to the big bowl. And I hate that people call you a sellout because you want to be successful and be renowned around the world and not just in fucking Idaho where you grew up at, dog. I got a family feed. I got a band who got 5 families to feed. We got to make more money, dog. But go ahead.
You could definitely, like, the possibility of being a sellout is always there.
It's always there, bro.
But just because you are on a major label doesn't inherently make you a sellout.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because and if anything, it's all the more impressive, to go ahead and, I tend to not enjoy much pop at all, but when pop is real, like that's the really impressive thing. Like you were talking, you're pop, so you're popular, right? Like. Yep. Everyone's listening to you across the world and stuff, and yet you're speaking authentically at that same time, and everyone's vibing with it. Like, and you're on a major label, you have this pressure from executives and stuff like that. Like, and yet you're still being authentic. Like, now that's really impressive. It's easy to be authentic when you have no one to hold you like accountable. When you're by yourself, it's easy to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in front of everybody and everyone is impressed with you, and yet you're just you.
Yep.
Now that is something that's really wild.
Exactly. What you about to say, Woz? And I'm gonna just, because he just lit that cute. I'm gonna just take it to a little step further. When you're a band like Greenday and you're just killing it, you can take that chance, right? But I'm gonna tell you what happens with a lot of guys, dog. So I want y'all to just remember it. If y'all ever see somebody that y'all like and then they sign to a label and y'all like, this sound different than when they first came out. This is what happens, guys. You come out with something, a lot of people like it. It has a certain sound. Maybe the sound is just like a little rugged because you recorded it in your basement, and it's got it's a literal different sound, not even the beats. What happens is, guys, you do this, you get a little success. Now you get into the studio with somebody that you really look up to. So name somebody that you look up to, Woz, as far as a musician. Like, who do you really like as a musician, I guess?
I mean, lately I'd say Ollie Sykes, the Bring Me the Horizon dude.
Yeah. So you get to it. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect example. You making music, and now you get into the studio with Ollie, right? And you like, I love your music, I love your sound, I love everything you're doing. This is what happens, guys. You're making a song, and then a guy like that comes. It's not never a random person. It's a dude that you respect that says, nah, don't do that, do this. It's gonna make it sound like this, and everything he's saying makes sense, and you believe him, right? And in reality, it's right. You know what I'm saying? Well, what happens is you follow the advice of this guy that you look up to, you've always looked up to. He's giving you actually good advice, and now your song comes out sounding different than what the last song that you did that everybody, your main fan base, liked. And so now you've kind of went into this pop area because now a lot of people like what you did, and because he gave you good advice. But those people that you came up with is like, this sound different. He done changed. He a sellout. Now you got to kind of go through this thing. What do I want to do? Do I want to make myself as a better musician? Like technically a better musician and make better music that a lot of people are going to like? Or do I want to just stay where I'm at, not make as much money, and then just cater to these people who basically already turned their back on me anyway? You most of the time you kind of do this, and that's just the situations that a lot of dudes get in. They want to do better, be better musicians, and then they get shitted on for it, and it leaves you in this terrible situation of who should I be as an artist, when in reality you just got to make the shit that you want to make.
Well, I mean, that was Linkin Park's story.
Yeah,
is every album was completely different, and people hated it because of that.
I
didn't hate them.
I think some of those fans, are those types of people who, they don't want to grow themselves. So when they see you growing, they're actually just projecting their own unconscious dissatisfaction with themselves because you're holding a mirror up to them, saying like, "Yeah, I went ahead and did that, and I killed it, and now I'm doing this, and I'm killing this," and you're like, "Well, I can't kill this one thing." Let alone changing it up and killing that. You suck, not me.
Oh, that's funny.
You're just a sellout. That's all it is.
That's true, though.
Yeah,
so,
all right, Mikey, what do we got next week?
Before we move on to that, WOZZY, is this are you still a Greenday fan? Have you listened to all this stuff? You still rock with what they do, even though everybody called them a sellout?
American Idiot was the last album of theirs that I listened to. Like completely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, musicians are musicians. If they go from making music I like to music I don't like, I don't dislike them. I just don't like their new stuff. And
do you check out, even if the last album was something you didn't like, do you check out the next one that they drop? Or is it like, as soon as you drop something I don't like, you off my playlist?
I mean, no, so they won't be off my playlist. Certain songs definitely will if I'm not vibing with it right away. But no, I mean, if they used to make music I liked and they made one album that I didn't care for because they wanted to try something new, they may try something new again, and I might like that. I mean, after like 3 or 4 albums, if it's all crap, then sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't really write musicians off unless there's a reason to.
I'm rolling with. All right, the album that I'm gonna go with for us this week. It's between the same group, but it's 2 different albums I want y'all to listen to. So let me see, which one do I want to do? We are gonna go with fuck it. We're gonna go with Lonely Island Turtleneck and Chain explicit version.
Is that the first one or the second one?
They've got a bunch of albums. This is their second album, though.
Okay.
Turtleneck and Chain.
Okay, listen to that one.
Interesting.
Nice. I'm down for that.
Turtleneck and chain. Write it down, people.
I got it.
All right. Explicit version too. Don't listen to no clean version. Make sure y'all got that explicit.
Find the radio edits and then play them at 2 times speed.
Mm-hmm. Damn, 2 times speed is crazy. All right, y'all. This the No Consensus motherfucking podcast.
Peace.